Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. Today we're looking at one of my smaller, cute Dendrobium orchids. This one is called trinervium. This is one of the smallest orchid that I have, and it's a miniature. It would never really grow to be so big. Unlike Parisiae, Dendrobium, they can get really long and thick, but this one will always stay petite and very tiny, which I love, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to purchase this orchid a couple years ago. It's been probably at least 5 years, I would say. It has always done really well under my care, and in fact I don't even provide any special treatment with this for this orchid. I give it water, usually it's 1/4 cup of water, and occasionally I do soak this orchid in this plastic container really, and I would give this orchid quarter strength fertilizer, and that's about it. That's all the care I provide to this orchid. It does have maybe a little bit more light exposure. I do have grow lights installed on each shelf, so this orchid does receive a little bit more grow light, but that's it. So it's been actually pretty rewarding and just kind of fun to look at its tiny blooms throughout the year. It does bloom more than once a year, so I would even say it's like free flowering. It's whenever it wants to bloom, it kind of just bloom. And here is exactly what I was talking about. I soak it, and then you see how there is a wire. I kind of make it into a hook, but it's really something for me to be able to take out the plant easier without having to use my finger and dig it up. And sometimes I do hang this orchid up as well, just to ensure that water is completely drained out and there is, proper drainage and proper ventilation around the container. And here, sometimes this orchid does shed some leaves, but this is not the same as, say, the noble leaf type Dendrobiums that will lose all their leaves in wintertime. For those kinds of orchid, in wintertime, you do want to reduce the amount of water you provide to those orchids. By how much? I would say, at least by 50%, if not 75%. Just water the orchid sparingly once a month. And maybe a quick spray here and there, but otherwise leave it dry, because the following spring it will be easier for those type of orchid to bloom. Otherwise, if you provide too much water, it would actually grow more Keikis on the nodes versus flower. And for this type of orchid, as well as Dendrobium phalaenopsis orchid, also Dendrobium, but that type and this one, they don't need winter rest. They need water throughout the year and nutrients throughout the year. I do miss this orchid from time to time because the roots are so thin. I'm just afraid if I don't mist it, and it's just gonna desiccate and dry out on its own. So earlier, beginning of the video, the 2 video clips you were seeing was the bloom video from its last bloom cycle, and what you're currently seeing is the photos and video footage later are the ones from this current bloom cycle. The flowers are always really tiny and small, but it's white with like greenish yellow edges. Especially the lip would always have that greenish yellow lip, which I love. And this blooming cycle, it gives me a lot of blooms, so it looks really festive, and it does have some fragrance as well. The fragrance is not super sweet, but and it's more on the sour side. You have that little bit of sour sweetness to it. It reminds me of like plum juice or plum wine. That's the smell that I could tell. Also, because Dendrobium sometimes, well, they do need more fertilizer than Phalaenopsis orchid in comparison, and also more lights. So I do plan to move this orchid to like closer to the windowsill, and I do also plan to use slow release fertilizer for this orchid. Right now it's not repotted, it's still in its original container, as well as the original medium, which is like small bark chips and maybe a couple rocks here and there. I haven't really repotted this orchid because it's just been doing so well, and I'm just thinking, you know, maybe I can wait for another year, and before you know it, it's been probably 5 years and I still haven't repotted this orchid, and yet it's still doing really well and putting out keikis too. I try to leave the keikis on because I don't see any signs of stress, and the longer the keikis stays on, the better they grow. And when you remove them from the mother plant, they would have a better chance of surviving. And I'm thinking once the keikis are removed, I'll probably gift them to a couple of my friends locally, because, you know, I already have one plant. I really don't want to have multiple plants of the same kind. But I say that I do have multiple plants of the same kind for more rare, hard to find orchids. For example, my Sweet Memory M, Sweet Memory Leodoro, and then I also have yellow pixies that I bought on different occasions. And then I also have like some fragrant grocery store files that I was able to come across that one time, so I purchased 4 of them. Yeah, but for this orchid, I think one is good. I don't need multiple of the same kind of orchid like this. Anyway, overall, I'm still very happy. It's cute. I almost treat it like a succulent plant. Sometimes I just move it over to a dining table and just, you know, use it as a succulent decoration type of, you know, plant versus an orchid, just the way it looks. But if you ever come across this orchid, don't be afraid. It's very easy to take care of, and hopefully you'll find one and try it out for yourself. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!